Are you on the seller's journey or are you on the buyer's journey? Big difference here, big difference. And I want to point out some things right here because here's the whole thing. We as salespeople tend to think our customers are on our journey. Wrong. We have to get on the buyer's journey. I'm going to share with you 10 ideas that are going to get you thinking about whether or not you're on the buyer's journey or the seller's journey. I'm Mark Hunter, the Sales Hunter. This is another video where I walk you through ideas and solutions to help you become a more efficient salesperson. Hey, do me a favor, check out my podcast, would you? The Sales Hunter podcast and Sales Logic podcast. Okay, let's dive into this thing. Number one, are we selling to our timeline? I was just on the phone yesterday. I was on a Zoom call with a salesperson. I was looking to buy a software package. And he asked me, he said, are you looking to buy in the month of August? And it happens to be the middle of August. I immediately came back and said, it sounds like you're not going to make your number for the month of August. You see, what was the salesperson doing? The salesperson was trying to put me into their journey. Well, the mental note that I made is, I'm not going to buy that software. I am going to buy the software. I'm not going to buy it. I'm going to call them up the last 2 days of the month because I have a feeling the last 2 days of the month, I'm going to get the best deal ever. Yeah. Buyers are smart. Buyers are smart. They're picking up on the seller's journey. And when we sell to our timeline, believe me, we send signals right and left. Number two, not accepting their timeline, their processes. In other words, they may have a process that says we have to go through an evaluation period. We have to be able to test or do this, or we have a timeline that says we can only do this in certain months of every year. We have to accept that. And what happens is, if we accept that, we're going to be much better off, in a better position to sell at full price. If we try to push them into our timeline, what happens is they may bend, but they're only going to bend because we're giving them the farm. Understand early on what is their timeline. What are the processes that they require? Question I love to ask is, how have you made decisions like this in the past? What have been the steps that you've gone through? Number three, we practice assumptive selling. Fatal mistake. Any salesperson who's been around for any length of time, I've seen this circus before. I've seen this rodeo before. I know what's going to happen. And we make assumptive. We make assumptive conclusions. Big mistake. No, we've got to allow the customer to make sure that they tell us exactly what it is that they're looking for. It's not about what I think. It's about what they believe. Number four, failing to truly engage with the customer. In other words, we just go through this cursory. In other words, the customer maybe early on expressed an interest to buy. So we immediately race to the close. And we fail to really engage them and understand, why are they talking to us? What's the need that they have? Racing to the close is truly failing to engage with the customer. I'm doing them a favor. I'm doing them a favor because they want to be able to buy tomorrow. Not always. At the end of the day, the customer has to feel comfortable and confident with your value proposition. You better make sure you deliver. Number five, not assisting in other areas. Now, the customer many times is going to throw out questions or throw out things that are maybe just a little bit side over here from what it is that you sell. You got to make sure that you assist them in that. They may be looking for some help over here. Help them out. What does that do? This demonstrates a level of caring and concern for the customer. And this is one of the easiest ways to send the signal to the customer that you believe in them and you want to help them versus you just trying to sell them. If you want to have commission breath, all you have to do is ignore those other comments, those other questions, those other requests that they make that are kind of a little bit outside your space. Yeah, you'll come across real quick as having commission breath. Yeah. Number six, forcing the customer to our terms. In other words, our terms of sale, our terms of this is how it has to be done. This is exactly what's got to be done. And again, what happens is we take the customer out of their process, and guess what? They may bend with us, but they're going to bend with us and not like it. So as a result, they're really not going to accept us for the full value. And they're probably going to demand a discount. Not good. Yes. Number 7, selling the product rather than the solution. Again, I see this happen so often when it feels like the customer wants to race through and make the buy. So what we're doing is we're just selling the product rather than the solution. You always keep your eyes on the solution, the outcome. What is it that the customer is really looking for? Because remember, nobody wakes up in the morning and says, I want to go out and spend money. They just don't. They just don't. They want to achieve something. Even if you were looking to buy a Ferrari, it's not the Ferrari. It's not the product. It's how that Ferrari is going to make you feel. It's the whole sense of who you are when you're driving a Ferrari. It's all these other pieces. You see, it's always the solution, the outcome versus the product. Number 8, we're focusing on our competition. In other words, everything that we're doing, everything that we're saying is really built around our competition. Our customer doesn't care about our competition. Customers care about their competition. But when we're sitting there doing all these comparison things, why are we doing these comparison things? The customer just wants a solution. Don't sit there and spend your time berating your competitor. Now you're on the seller's journey. It's the buyer's journey. Yeah. Number 9, not knowing their market, their customers. We kind of understand downstream. Nobody's in business just for the sake of being in business. They're in business because they're taking care of some other customers. And we've got to very much understand where that is. We have to understand where that is. We have to understand. And so knowing their market and customers helps us understand the challenges and the issues that they face, which takes us to number 10. It's seeing their issues, their priorities. In other words, I got to understand, hey, what are the key issues that you're dealing with right now as a company? What are the big challenges that you're facing? I got to understand that, because at the end of the day, what I'm selling has to help them address those, or they're not going to buy. And again, I see too many people focus on the product versus the solution, which is helping them see their issues. Okay, what I've done is I've just walked you through 10 questions that you need to really ask yourself in terms of the buyer's journey versus the seller's journey. Dig into this. Understand what this is. Go out to the Sales Hunter University. There's courses out there to help you understand this. And check out the podcast, the Sales Hunter podcast. I've got several podcasts that deal very specifically with the buyer's journey versus the seller's journey. I'm Mark Hunter, the Sales Hunter. Great selling.